Hello, Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back to another installment in this series, Sefer Jonah, verse by verse, select commentaries. This week we're doing Jonah, chapter 1, verse 5. If you found this series or any of my other series to be a benefit, to be an aid to your studies, I wish you would consider subscribing to this channel. Click the bell icon if you desire to have updates when I upload new content. If you find that this project or any of my other projects are worthy of your support, I wish you would consider becoming a patron over on Patreon or making a small donation via PayPal. This series is a companion to my other series on Sefer Jonah verse by verse, which is an exclusive to my patrons over on Patreon. Any support as little as $1 a month gains access to that series. In that series, I take each and every verse in Sefer Jonah, the book of Jonah, and I break it down all the grammar and give the vocabulary. And the series is meant to be a bridge between the textbook phase, whenever people are learning various grammatical constructs in biblical Hebrew, and actually taking that and then applying that to a Hebrew in the wild, so to speak. So I hope to do that for every verse in the book of Jonah, at roughly once a week. So if you're interested in that, I wish you would consider becoming a patron, and you'll get access to that series. Okay, let's get going. Sefer Jonah, verse by verse, select commentaries. This week, we are looking at the commentary of the Mahari Kra. The Mahari Kra is Rabbi Yosef ben Shimon Kra, Moreno, Rabbi Yosef ben Shimon Kra. His years are 1065 to 1135. He was a French rabbi. He resided in the city of Troyes. He was a contemporary of Rashi, who also resided in that city. Rashi clearly is the more famous son of that city. Nevertheless, they did seem to know each other, and there is some indication that the Mahari Kra frequented the study hall of Rashi. Here is his Wikipedia page, should you want to do further research. He's pretty typical of the what they call the French Pshatist school. So we have Rashi sort of inaugurates that. He's interesting. He's much like Rashi, but he's not like Rashi in certain very interesting ways. He sometimes gets into the verses and tries to attribute feelings or thoughts to certain characters. That's interesting. He's also a little less likely to rely on midrashic material. He is earlier than Rashi and Mahari Kra, are earlier than other examples of the French Pshatists, commentators like the Rashbam or the Bechor Shor. Hopefully in coming weeks we'll look at some of these commentaries. Okay, so anyway, that is the basic information for the Mahari Kra. Here's a map. Here's Troyes, France. You see it's situated in such a way that it's pretty close to the German countries, so-called Ashkenaz. So the proximity is obvious why Rashi and his students had such a influence on the thinkers in Ashkenaz, medieval Germany. Okay, anyway, that is enough of that. Let's get to looking at this verse. Okay, let me read the verse a couple times. V'yiru ha-melachim v'yizaku ish el Elohav V'yatilu et hakelim asher b'haniya el hayam l'hachel me'aleihem v'yona yorad el yarchatei hasfina v'yishkav v'yeradam. One more time. V'yiru hamalachim v'yizachu ish el Elohav v'yatilu et hakelim asher b'haniya el hayam l'hachel me'aleihem v'yona yorad el yarchatei hasfina v'yishkav v'yerada. V'yiru hamalachim, and the sailors feared. V'yizachu, and they called out, ish el Elohav, each man to his god, or gods. V'yatilu et hakelim, and they threw the kalim, asher b'aniyah, they were in the aniyah, el hayam, to the sea, l'hakel me'aleim, to lighten from upon themselves their load. V'yona yorad, Yona went down, el yarchatei hasfina, to the hull of the ship, went down to the cabin. V'yishkav, and he lay down. V'yeradam, and he slumbered, fell into a deep sleep. Okay, let's look at what the Mahari Kra has to say. He's taking note of the sort of incongruous behavior between the shipmen, the mariners, their behavior versus the behavior of Jonah. It's a little puzzling. Jonah doesn't seem to be terribly worried. Okay, so on the words in the verse, V'yizaku ish el Elohav, each man called out to his god or gods. It says, Kulam avdu et Elohim. They all served their gods. Be'amuna, in faith. Shehayu svarim sheyoshium be'et zaratam. Because they thought that they would save them at the time of their worry, the time of their trouble. So these people did not lack, they had no lack of religion. We frequently think of the pagan world as if it was sort of wink and nudge. There was like a nod. Nobody really believed this, but he's coming to indicate that this verse seems to indicate that these people were devoutly religious. It just so happened that they were devoutly religious in an idolatrous way. So these people did not lack for religion. In fact, in their time of need, they showed who they really were. They called out to their gods to be saved. Yona yorad el yarchatei hasfina, and Yona went down into the hole of the ship. Yona, sheyada ba'atzmo, and he knew for himself, shechata el Elohav, that he had sinned. He knew concerning himself that he had sinned against his God. V'yada, and he knew, shelo yekabel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that the Holy One, blessed be, would not receive et tfilato, his prayer. Lekach, therefore, hu yared b'yarchatei hasfina, he went down into the hole of the boat, the ship, v'shachav, and he lay down, v'nerdam, and he slept. He was in a deep slumber. Shlo hayachoshesh, because he was not concerned. Mashi yehebesfina, what would be with the boat? He was not concerned what would be with the boat, meaning that he did not think that his prayer would affect what would be with the boat. Either the boat would be lost and he would be lost with it, and that was the will of God, and he can't run from God, so he might as well not trouble himself, not worry. Or he felt, another possibility is he felt that somehow or another God, by hook or by crook, was going to see to it that he fulfilled this mission to go to Nineveh, and that he was not worried for the safety of the boat, because he knew that ultimately he would not be allowed to run. So it really doesn't indicate what is in the mind of Jonah from Mahari Kra, other than the fact that he wasn't worried what would be with the boat. He wasn't worried to the point that he would pray. concerning its well-being. So that's interesting. We see ultimately that Jonah, in fact, could not run from God. We'll see that in the coming verses. Could not run from God, even though the people in Nineveh were the enemies of Israel, and this would have been a horrible thing, and then ultimately would spell the doom for his own people. Jonah could not turn. He literally had to do the will of God. He had to go and at least give the people in Nineveh a chance to repent of their ways. Okay, that was the Mahari. I hope that was interesting to you. Again, another commentator, another flavor. Each commentator has their own flavor, and I hope that by exposing you to these various flavors, these various voices, that you will come to have a feel for the universe of possibilities in terms of the various commentators in the rabbinic realm, what's out there. Okay, I hope you'll join me again next week. Kol Tuv, Haslach Haraba. Keep learning.